Hello again, my little drop troopers, and welcome to another Mordian Glory video. In today's episode, we are going to be casting our critical eye over the brand new Tempestus Aquilons datasheet that has just been released by Games Workshop. This new squad may have its origins in Kill Team, but let me tell you, they are a fantastic unit for your Warhammer 40k guard army, and I am planning on getting a lot of these guys. And so without further ado, I'm not messing around, guys. I'm too excited to talk about this stuff. Let's get our graph shoots on, grab a hotshot lads carbine, and dive right into today's episode. Actung conscripts, Warlord Games is now an official sponsor of the Mordian Glory channel. And not only that, they have given me an affiliate link which I have popped down in the description below. By using that link, you can get your hands on some awesome World War II bolt action miniatures and at the same time support the Mordian Glory channel.
Bring it to me, Fagolite! 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 Fagolite!
You have all of my ideas, so what are you waiting for? Do the right thing and buy yourself some bolt action today. First things first, if you have not yet seen the Tempestus Aquilons datasheet, I will make sure there's a link to it down in the description below. You can find it on the Warhammer community website, and it is a free download. But with that said, now let's get into the datasheet, and we'll start off with that all-important stat line. Aquilons have a movement of 6 inches, toughness 3, a 4+ save, 1 wound, and leadership 7, and an objective control of 1. This is a pretty typical elite guardsman profile. You've got that classic toughness 3, 1 wound, and movement 6. Where you have a bit of an improvement is that 4+ save. But let's be honest here, in today's hyper lethal 40k, there is very little difference between a 4+ save and a 5+ save. And these guys should be considered as fragile and as expendable as a good old trooper. The real kicker is the OC of 1. It's surprising how OC1 can sometimes kick you in the ass, because you don't think that objective control is such a big deal until suddenly you don't have it and the enemy does. But I want to make something clear. I'm not salty about this profile in any way, shape or form. It's exactly in line with the normal Scion one. I'm just pointing out some of the strengths and weaknesses of it for when you are considering using these guys. But if this stat line is so far so Scion, then what separates the Aquilons from the regular Tempestus? Well, for that, we need to look at their abilities and Wargear, and this is where things get real spicy. Beginning with their unit composition, you have to take these guys as a 10-man unit. You cannot take them as a small 5-man drop team. The sergeant of the unit comes equipped with a hotshot lads carbine, a sentry flamer, and a close combat weapon, and every other Tempestus Aquilon comes equipped with a hotshot lads carbine and a close combat weapon. The sergeant's sentry flamer can be replaced with a sentry hotshot volley gun or a sentry grenade launcher, and the sergeant can also replace his hotshot lads carbine with a chainsword, power weapon, a hotshot lads pistol, and he can be given, in addition to any of his equipment, a bolt pistol or hotshot lads pistol. Essentially, it's just a long roundabout way of them saying you can have your sergeant with a rifle, which is awesome. Always take the rifle. Rifles are cool. Or you can go for a pistol and a melee weapon, or even double pistol if you want to. As for the rest of the unit, you can give one person in the squad a melter carbine or a plasma carbine. You can give one person in the squad double hotshot lads pistols. You can give one member of the squad a hotshot long las, and you can have up to 2 Tempestus Aquilons replace the hotshot lads carbines with hotshot lads pistols. Although I have no idea why you would ever do that, because it doesn't then let you get power swords or chainswords. They literally just go from having a good gun to having a bad one. But we keep talking about these newfangled things like hotshot lads carbines and plasma carbines, but what do? Well, the hotshot lads carbine is an 18-inch range weapon with 2 attacks at ballistic skill 3+, strength 3, AP -1, 1 damage. Essentially, over a regular hotshot rifle or regular las gun, you are sacrificing 6 inches of long range to always have 2 shots. in my opinion, that is an amazing thing that you will always do. If I could give all of my guardsmen hotshot las carbines right now, not even hotshot las carbines, sorry, just regular las carbines, I would do it. Getting into 12-inch range for rapid fire is fine, but if I can have more shots all the time, of course I will do that. The big thing though about these carbines is that it means you don't have to deep strike right into the face of the enemy if you want to get maximum shots off. And having a little bit of distance, ironically them being carbines makes them slightly longer range because you don't need to get point blank for your maximum firepower, gives you a little bit of distance, can give you a little bit of durability. And it's very similar with the plasma carbine. That is also an 18-inch range weapon which fires 2 shots at ballistic skill 3+, and just like a normal plasma gun, you can either fire it as a standard shot with strength 7, AP -2, damage 1, or you can supercharge it, making it hazardous, and that makes it strength 8, AP-3, damage 2. And then we have the melter carbine, which has got a 10-inch range, 1 attack, ballistic skill 3+, strength 9, AP-4, damage d6 with melter 2. So essentially you're dropping 2 inches of range, but why would you? What's the trade-off? Why wouldn't you just want to take a regular melter gun? Well, the thing is that all of these carbine weapons, plasma carbines, melter carbines, and the hotshot las carbines have all got assault. So this means that you can move and advance and still shoot them. So whilst your melter range might be 1 inch less, the fact that actually you're getting a free extra d6 inches of movement and therefore actually d6 inches of range out of these weapons means that in many ways that melter gun is probably going to end up being slightly longer ranged. And if you get a good assault move, you won't really notice the shortened range on things like your carbines and your plasma carbines. And like I said, you probably wouldn't notice that anyway because you'll be just staying at range, firing at long range, getting maximum shots, or you'll be point blank getting maximum shots. Long story short, I'm a big fan of these carbine weapons. I would always trade the range for having all of your shots all the time, and having assault is massive because movement wins games, and just being able to run around the board, hip firing and not losing any firepower is a really big bonus. But wait, there's more. We still have the Sentry Flamer grenade launcher and hotshot volley gun. So this is the little sentry droid that sort of drops down with the Scions, that really cool thing that we saw in the trailer. Now the Sentry Flamer is actually really spicy. Really spicy. So it fires d6 plus 3 shots. So it's not like a normal flamer which fires just d6, and if you roll a 1, well, sorry kiddo, just not your day today. I hope that this is an indication that all flamers are going to be made a little bit more reliable, because the d6 shots on a flamer is a bit of a nightmare. We've also got the Sentry Grenade Launcher, which is kind of like a regular grenade launcher, except for it's on bloody steroids. You've got the Frag Blast, which is the same profile in terms of ballistic skill, strength, AP, and damage as you find on a normal guard grenade launcher, although it's worth pointing out that the Sentry is only ballistic skill 4+, so it's slightly worse than the Scions. But it fires D3 plus 3 shots. So that's the plus 3 you don't normally have. And then you've got the crack version, which fires 2 shots. Double doozy. Basically, this is a weapons platform that is putting out way more shots than you normally find on infantry mounted weapons. And then you've got the hotshot volley gun, which I really like. The Sentry hotshot volley gun is rapid fire 4 with a 30-inch range and has a base of 4 shots at ballistic skill 4+, strength 4, AP-1, 1 damage. Now that means that within 15-inch range, which you are almost always going to be, between the abilities we'll be looking at in a moment and the fact that these guys want to be within 18 inches, you are going to be getting 8 shots on this thing. That is a lot of DACA. That is a significant amount of DACA. Out of all of the Sentry weapons, I have to say I am leaning towards that Sentry Grenade Launcher, pretty much because of the crack version. That is going to add some much needed punch to this unit. And this is where we have to address the elephant in the room. And no, I'm not talking about your mother. Scions are cool. Aquilons are very, very cool. But these Aquilons do not have the same punch and the same firepower as your regular Tempestus Scions. In fact, pretty much everyone here is going to be running around with some kind of hotshot lads carbine. And if you're lucky, you're going to have one guy with a plasma gun and one guy with a grenade launcher. You don't even get a plasma pistol on the sergeant. And if we compare special weapon volume between the two squads, the Scions end up with 5 special weapons. You have got the plasma pistol on the sergeant, and then you've got double plasma gun and double melter gun in a Scion unit. Or you can go for more grenade launchers or more volley guns. You've got a lot of weapon options. For the Aquilons, you have got one guy with a plasma gun or a melter gun. And then you've got the equivalent, if we count the servo as 2, of 2 grenade launchers or 2 volley guns. Either way, you are looking at being 2 special weapons down. And don't forget, the Scions have got that fantastic Stormtrooper ability, which means they get full rerolls to hit against enemy units that are on objectives. So if these guys don't have the same output as Scions, why have I got such a hard-on for the Aquilons? Why did I say I was going to take a buttload of them in the intro to this video? Welly Wellington. It all comes down to their abilities. Firstly, you have got the Servo Sentry. When this unit is set up on the battlefield using the Deep Strike ability, the Tempestus Aquilon can shoot with its Sentry weapon, Sentry Flamer, Sentry Grenade Launcher, or Sentry Hotshot Volley Gun as if it were your shooting phase. This means that the Servo Sentry gets to fire twice in one turn, because you drop the squad down and then you fire it, and then when it gets to your shooting phase, remember, the drop happens in the movement phase. When you get to your shooting phase, you then get to shoot it again. So on the turn that these guys arrive, they have the same amount of special weapon output as a Scion squad, because now the Servo Sentry is firing twice. That's like it counts as 4 special weapons. You have 4 grenade launcher shots. That's pretty good. 16 hotshot volley gun shots. That's pretty bloody good. And then, of course, you've got that melter, or you've got that plasma gun guy as well firing. So that Servo Sentry rule definitely makes up for a lack of damage output. But remember, they only get that on the turn they drop in. But speaking of Deep Strike, woohoo, baby. This is where our next ability comes in, and this is the reason why you're going to see a squad of these in every single guard army, if not 3. Precision Drop. When this unit is set up on the battlefield using the Deep Strike ability, it can perform a precision drop. If it does, this unit can be set up anywhere on the battlefield that is more than 3 inches horizontally away from all enemy units. But until the end of the turn, it is not eligible to declare a charge. Oh no, whatever will I do? I can't charge with my terrible guardsman combat squad. I guess I'll just have to deep strike down within 3 inches and be really hard to screen out. And that means I can do all of the secondary objectives that I want. Or because I can now deep strike within 3 inches, I can get any of the angles I want for shooting. And now I've got the perfect pseudo indirect fire squad. Oh look, it seems like I've dropped all my basilisks on the floor, and I've now picked up 3 squads of these guys to do the job of indirect fire in my army. Sarcasm aside, this ability is phenomenal. It completely revolutionizes your secondary game. If you were taking 2 squads of 5-man Scions, you're going to take 1 squad of Tempestus Aquilons now. Because, yes, normally having a big 10-man squad is harder to deep strike in because of the bigger footprint, but that's just not a thing anymore, because 3-inch deep strike is so difficult to screen out. It's so difficult. Most people won't even bother trying when they know you've got a 3-inch deep strike. So you're going to be able to get into the enemy's backfield, you're going to be able to establish locus, you're going to be able to get behind enemy lines. And yes, if you do go for the 1 squad, it is going to reduce your flexibility over 2 5-man squads, but these guys are a perfect opportunity for reinforcements. Because A, it's a 10-man squad, so you feel like you're getting your money's worth when you spend your once per game 2 CP on that. But also, that pseudo gives you 2 squads. So now, if you draw 1 turn behind enemy lines, you can get it, and then you reinforcements, and next turn, you can get established locus if you draw the cards in that order, or you can reinforce these guys at any point during the game that they die, keep them in reserve and hold back until you get the cards that you want, and then you can deep strike them in. It's just really, really good. But the best bit about reinforcements is it takes the Aquilons' already very tempting points cost and essentially halves it, because these guys come in at only 90 points. So if you deep strike the one squad and it dies and then you reinforcement it, it's like you've only paid 45 points a squad. That's very, very, very nice. And it makes sense these guys are only 90 points because they don't quite have the damage output of your regular sounds. They don't have that full rerolls, and yes, they do get a few grenade launcher shots, but I'd much rather have plasma and melter all the way. So I actually think that them being 90 points does reflect the fact that they can deep strike down, but they're not going to be doing quite as much damage. And before any of you get the galaxy-brained idea to try and up the Aquilons' damage output by attaching a Scion command squad to them, I'm sorry, Dave, but I can't let you do that. Scion command squads can only lead Tempestus Scions, and in fact, Aquilons can't have any leaders attached to them at the time of recording. But they do have the regiment keyword, so don't worry, they can receive orders from any of your infantry officers. And speaking of keywords, one thing which I think is very cheeky and very cool is the Aquilons have the smoke keyword. This means that it is possible to use the smokescreen stratagem on them. This is a first for Imperial Guard infantry units, and whilst their 4+ armor save leaves a lot to be desired, if you can deep strike these guys down, maybe rapid ingress them, and then use smokescreen to try and keep them alive, not only will that give them the benefit of cover, but it also give them stealth, making them -1 to hit. That's actually really cool. Yes, they're only infantry. Yes, they'll probably still die. But I can definitely foresee a number of battlefield circumstances and scenarios where being able to pop smoke on your Aquilons could be game-changing. So that just about covers everything on the Tempestus Aquilons datasheet. And overall, I'm feeling really positive about this unit. They're not quite as damage dealing as regular Scions, but they make up for that by being much more maneuverable with a lot of assault weapons, and they also have that precision drop, which makes them very good at secondary game and being pseudo indirect fire. But before we wrap up today's video, there is one more thing that I think needs pointing out. Thanks to this new datasheet, it is now possible to run 135 elite guard infantry in a 2,000 point army list. Because if you take 3 Scion command squads and make one of them your Warlord, not only is that 15 Scions right there, but it also allows you to take your Scions as battle line. That gives you an extra 60 Scions. Then you've got the 3 squads of Kazakin, which is another 30, and then you've now got these 3 squads of Tempestus Aquilons. And at the time of recording, taking all of those units only comes in at 1,410 points. That leaves you 590 points left over. And you can get a hell of a lot for 590 points in the Guard. I think that the time of the Grenadier Guard is here. It's an army concept that I've been playing around with for a little bit, and with the release of the Aquilons, I think it's just gone from a theory to a reality. But of course, all of this is just like my opinion, man. Let me know what you think down in the comment section below. Do you think that Tempestus Aquilons are now broken, now an auto-included every single Guard army? Or do you think they might be a little bit overhyped? How many are you planning on including in your armies going forward? If you enjoyed today's video, don't forget to smash that like button. It really helps with boosting this video with the YouTube algorithm. And also, make sure you subscribe to never miss an episode. Would you like to know more? If so, then please consider becoming a channel member or patron. By supporting the channel, not only will you be doing your part, but you'll also be helping me create more content for your viewing pleasure, and unlocking a whole host of perks. You get everything from a badge next to your name, custom emojis, but the big one is access to the Mordian Glory Discord server, an online community with almost 2,500 active members. It's always popping off in the MG Discord. We've got channels for army lists, hobbying, tactics, stories, and even a pretty spicy meme section as well. For all you greenhorns that wanted to see the Mordian glory hole, today is your lucky day. And joking aside, I do want to say a massive thank you to all of the current channel members and Patreons. You guys are amazing. Truly the lifeblood of the channel. I could not do Mordian Glory full-time without the incredible and generous support of my members. So thank you guys so much. And last but certainly not least, I want to say a personal thank you to all of my top tier Patreons. These are the War Masters, the people who have truly gone above and beyond the call of duty. So a heartfelt thank you to Alex Dengal, Bon Vert, Lord Pryor, Mark Panconi, RJ Scorpion, Swordfish Trombone, Try Again Bragg, John Stubbs, Nick Walsh, Diesel Fox, and August Barney. Seriously guys, thank you from the bottom of my heart. Your support is incredible and it makes a huge difference. Thank you so much. That's all for now. Hope you've all enjoyed today's video, and of course, as always, see you guys next time.